friends, welcome back and welcome if you're new. Today I am so excited to share my spring decor home tour for the 2022 season. If you missed my last video, then you may have missed that I announced that I've officially launched a weekly newsletter. It is completely free to sign up for. The link is down in the description below, and that way you will stay up to date on weekly videos that I upload, posts, links and finds that I want to share with you guys, and sometimes just words of encouragement to fellow homemakers and mothers. So if you want to check that out, that will be down in the description below. But without further ado, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of hot tea, cozy on up, and let's take a look around my home. Before we get too far, I wanted to quickly mention that today's video is a collab with my sweet friend Leah from Grace Lee Cottage. I adore Leah's YouTube channel. She shares so much inspiring content. I know that you're gonna love her. Her and her family live on a cattle farm, and they share a lot of farm life content, lots of DIY projects. They have completely renovated their farmhouse, and it is so beautiful. I know you're gonna love it. And she's sharing her spring home tour today as well. So make sure you head over to her channel, check out her video, and be sure to let her know that I sent you. Springtime is my favorite season to decorate for. It is just so effortless and so refreshing to sort of scale everything back and truly just have in your home the pieces that you love, and then easily bring the space back to life with greens and florals. So when you come through my front door, you are immediately in my formal living room. My home was built in the late 1800s. I don't have a formal entryway, and in my formal living room I have three chairs, I guess now. I recently added a plaid chair just for some additional seating, and it's just a formal sitting space. I sit there all of the time. I sit there more than in our family room, and it's a great spot to cozy up and have a cup of coffee or cup of tea. It's a great spot to read a book in the afternoon or in the evening time. It's my favorite spot in the house. And on the other side of the chairs against our staircase, I have a piano that I did a little DIY project on last summer. I do have a wooden window pane that I bought in college for $1 because I wanted to decorate my dorm room with it, which is so funny that I still use it today. But I love that. It's just a pretty backdrop to some vases. I have these really beautiful, I don't know if they're sea glass or sea glass inspired vases, but they're this beautiful hue of blue, which is perfect for spring and summer. And I have those filled with hydrangea stems. Another thing I really love about our living room is a piece that is very special to me. It's a vintage hall tree that my mom actually got on Facebook Marketplace, and she painted it and added hooks to it, and it just works perfectly at the bottom of our stairs. Have some really pretty spring flowers. I believe they're hyacinths. Is that how you say it? Hyacinth? I can't say it. But I have them in a stone planter, and they are so fragrant. They smell amazing. I also have a sun hat. I think that one was thrifted from Goodwill, and I just have that hanging on one of the hooks. And it's amazing how a simple $3 hat can really add such a touch of spring and summer to a space. And off of our formal living room is our parlor room, which for us just works as sort of a family room. It's where our TV is, and in that space I always try to keep it as simple as possible because my whole family sits in there, we watch movies in there, that kind of thing. But in that space I have recently added some drop cloth curtains that I think will work year round, but they just look so pretty for springtime. I love just how neutral and soft they are. They complement the space really, really well. They look really beautiful against my white walls and my white couch, and I love them. And then on the couch, of course, I have some throw pillows. I haven't really changed out my throw pillows much recently. They're so neutral. They worked for spring. I did add some embroidered sort of floral block style or block print pillows from Target. I love them. They're so pretty, and they're just a perfect little touch of spring. On my wicker coffee table, I have some more hydrangeas just sort of gathered in a dough bowl. And there it's pretty simple and sweet, but we like it that way, and it is perfect for us for the spring months. On the main living, of course, we have the kitchen and dining. Those are my two favorite spots in the house, and they were my favorite to decorate for spring this year. I was thinking back, and I did one spring decorate with me last year, but I didn't even get to film a spring home tour last year because we were in the middle of so many renovations. So it was so nice this year to be able to decorate for my favorite season. But in my dining room, I did an entire separate video on that. I also did a separate video on my bedroom, so both of those videos I will link down below. But here in my dining room, one of my favorite pieces is my hutch that I DIY'd and painted black around Christmas time. I actually bought the buffet separate, and then I found a hutch top on Facebook Marketplace, and I brought it home, and it fit on the buffet perfectly. Painted the entire piece the same color, and I love it. But I love it because it just contrasts all the white in the space so beautifully. I collect white ironstone dishes, and they just pop against the black. I just love it. And I sort of scaled things back for springtime. I had almost the entire hutch full of my entire collection, and I decided for spring to just take a few pieces off and just sort of leave my favorites. And I think letting my hutch sort of breathe not only draws your eye to more of the detail, but it just looks more simplistic, and I'm enjoying it more. But another thing, my favorite thing probably, I know I probably said my hutch was my favorite, but maybe my second favorite thing in the dining room space is a recent project that I did, and that was on a cabinet door that is original to our home. Like I said before, our home is almost 150 years old. It was built in the 1800s, and originally there were 4 feet tall, very dark mahogany cabinets in this dining room, and I loved them so much in the dining room, but I did not love the look of them looking into the dining room from our entryway and living room. They just sort of blocked everything and made it feel sort of claustrophobic. And so we took out those cabinets last year, but I saved the doors, and I knew someday I would do something with them. And all of a sudden I got the idea a couple of weeks ago to try oven cleaner on one of the cabinet doors. I've heard that works wonders on stained wood, and sure enough it did. One coat of oven cleaner, and I got this beautiful raw wood finish. It looks stunning, and I decided just to hang it on the wall and display it as wall art, and I love it. I think it is so special and unique to our home. I love that it's an original piece, and it adds a ton of warmth to the space. And then to sort of pair with all of the vintage touches that I have in the dining room, I have a vintage crock and a vintage gathering basket, and I've just filled both of those with more of the hydrangea stems. I also have a vintage watering can sitting on a bench under the window, which is super sweet for springtime. And for one final touch of spring and summer, I have a striped apron hanging in the dining room, and I don't know what it is about stripes, but I just love them in the spring and summer months. And then last but not least, our kitchen. Now, not a ton has changed in here for springtime, but I do have just a few things that I mixed up and just sort of rearranged. We have some open shelving in our kitchen that I love, but instead of having lots of decor on them like I typically do, I sort of went with more of an open pantry feel. I wouldn't totally call it an open pantry, but I put all of my canisters on them with my different flours and oats and things like that. And I really love the look of that. I love the pretty glass canisters on display. I have lots of real flowers and plants and herbs in my kitchen. I have different spearmint, I have oregano, I have thyme. They are just so uplifting to me. I love them sitting in the windowsill. They add such a pop of color to my kitchen. They're great to use in cooking or in refreshments, and they just say spring to me. I love them. I love to decorate with lots of woods and coppers in my kitchen. I do that year round, so nothing has changed there, but I really wanted to add some spring flowers to my kitchen. I thought that might motivate me and inspire me to get in the spring mood, and it definitely did. And I went to my local hardware store, and they had hyacinths. That's where I found the ones on my haul tree, and I bought 2 of them. One was there on the haul tree, and then I actually potted some of them in a vintage tureen, and I just had them displayed next to my range. And it's just a simple but really impactful look for springtime, and so far they're living. So as long as they stay watered, I think I have a few more weeks in them, fingers crossed, because they're so beautiful. So that was just a quick look at my main living for spring 2022. I hope that I gave you lots of spring decorating ideas and inspiration, and I hope that it encouraged you to decorate your own home and your own haven. And I hope that it's a good reminder that sometimes less is more, especially during these spring months. It feels good to just sort of let go and scale back and just enjoy the true beauty from outside inside. And I hope that it encouraged you to do that as well. If you liked today's video, it would mean the world to me if you would share it with a friend or give it a thumbs up. And until then, friends, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful start to your spring, and I will see you really soon in my next video. Bye.